Dana may have a problem understanding. This is the people who didn't show discipline in school. I know this is hard for you to comprehend. People who would actually get punished in school. But this is a crazy idea. You would have to.
I think it is a crazy idea. It's also one that parents reject. So Parents Defending Education did a poll, and only 17% of parents think that schools are doing a good job with discipline. And
how do you even base discipline on equity? I don't even know what that would look like. What does that even mean? Basing discipline on equity?
Color of your skin matter if you behave badly in class. Well, Portland Public Schools must now consider race or gender identity when dishing out discipline to students who act up. According to a new collective bargaining agreement reached between the district and its teachers union, educators must develop, quote unquote, a support plan for the disruptive students that will, quote, take into consideration the impact of issues related to the student's trauma, race, gender identity,
This is racist.
sexual orientation, and restorative justice as appropriate for the student. When I did not respond to my principal and teacher after recess coming in on time, they didn't take into account any of these things in second grade when I got paddled. Did you ever take into account any of this stuff when you were a judge, when you were meting out these kind of factors?
I could care less. This is the student. The teachers union is supporting this, and what they're doing is they're turning schools into blue cities, where the teachers unions are basically now the mayors of the.
I don't know a lot about blue cities or nothing, but I do know I really hope this ruling is not real, because not only is it racist to everybody, it's literally racist to everybody. I don't even know how you cover all bases of racism in one ruling. But anyways, you're setting back kids. You're setting back, every kid who isn't black, because you're giving them stricter punishments in comparison to the black students, and you're setting them back as well because you're not treating them as an equal. Why can't we just treat everyone equal?
The schools. And they're saying that if you're suffering from trauma, what is trauma? Kids today think, if they got shortchanged 5 cents, it's trauma. Everything is traumatic to them. But what's going on is they said, look, students of color are suspended more often than whites. And we don't want to suspend them that much. So we're going to define deviancy down where we have an uncivilized, barbaric society that keeps devolving until we reach the lowest of the low, where everybody's in agreement and we get the same level of punishment. It makes no sense to me. All they're doing is they're using color as an excuse to get away with everything. It's kind of like Loudoun County. If you're a sexual predator in the school in Loudoun County, but you identify as a female, they'll just send you to another school so you can, commit a sexual crime against another kid based on your sexual identity. It's an excuse.
Greg, in the green room, you said that certain kids should be beaten more than other kids.
I didn't say certain. I said all kids. I hate it when you misquote me. But speaking of quoting, Vivek Ramaswamy tweeted the perfect 2 sentences to describe the current state of racial delusion. He said, "The left says your race and sexuality govern who you are and what you can achieve. If you question them, they call you racist." Mm-hmm. Think about that. And he calls it psychological slavery. But I was thinking, think about how small your world gets based on identity, right? How it shrinks your universe so it's just you and your so-called lived experience.
That's facts, man, because, I'm not going to say the left. I don't really know how they define left. So I'm not even going to say left, because just because you're on the left doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. But I will say, if you focus too much on race or gender, you're just going to drive yourself insane. And when you have rulings that focus so heavily on race and gender, you're doing everyone a disservice. I don't even get how making this rule benefits any person. And what a lot of people in the media try to do is gaslight you into believing that race and gender is in every aspect of life. Sometimes it isn't. And this is the time where when you make a rule like this, bro, I hope this rule is fake. But when you make a rule like this, you're doing everyone on earth a disservice.
I think this is why we see so many miserable people, because identity politics is the enemy of human connection. It's a tribe of one. You know, it's not being an individual, it's being a collection of all these self-imposed markers. It's why among the woke, you know, the self-description gets more particleized, non-binary, differently abled, neurodiverse, woodland creature of color. They just shrink themselves down and further into like a microscopic lived experience that you cannot share with them, and that's the point. The joy of life, if I may say so, Dana,
yes,
is seeking to get outside your lived experience, which is what we call a connection, right? I don't want to be in a tribe of Greg Gutfelds. That would be horrible. I want a diverse world of thought and not identity. People who reject identity politics are generally the most interesting people. The people who embrace it, you will notice, are the most boring. Dull as dishwater.
Dana probably
Or Jesse Waters.
Dana may have a problem understanding. This is the people who didn't show discipline in school. I know this is hard for you to comprehend. People who would actually get punished in school. But this is a crazy idea. You would have to.
I think it is a crazy idea. It's also one that parents reject. So Parents Defending Education did a poll, and only 17% of parents think that schools are doing a good job with discipline. And
How do you even base discipline on equity? I don't even know what that would look like. What does that even mean? Basing discipline on equity? This is stressful. Y'all, I'm not gonna lie. Like, this stuff is stressful to even hear because every day I get in front of this camera and I hear something that I wouldn't even expect to hear or see. Like, you're basing discipline. So if two people steal something, you're gonna punish a white person more because of equity in society? What? This can't.
73% of parents disagree with using race when it comes to discipline. So once again, the left, progressive left, is pushing an agenda item that the vast majority of Americans do not agree with. Plus, the public union, the teachers union in Portland, has basically made these kids stay home for a month. How do you think their discipline is going, right? The teachers have been striking. These kids have not been in school. The parents had to figure out something else for them to do. And I think it shows why public sector unions should be legally prohibited from going off the job. And that would hopefully protect the children, because guess what? Next, they're going to ask all of us to pay for their free community college and to repay their student loans as they continue to go through this life.
And I will say this. Who is making these rules? Because if the teachers are striking, who's really behind all these discipline, equity, or decisions made in these schools? Because if the teachers are striking, that means the teachers are obviously not happy with what's going on in the schools. So they're not making the rules if they don't even like what's going on. So who is behind this stuff? The parents are behind. Well, it could be the parents. I don't know. But the public is not behind it. The teachers aren't behind it. Who is making this stuff up?
Julia.
I remember.
You've talked a lot about your time in school and some of the skirmishes you had. How do you feel about this issue?
Young Jesse would have thrived in Portland. I would have come out of the closet just to misbehave. I would have said, Dean, I'm not sorry, I'm gay. And I would have started food fights and said I was 0.1% sub-Saharan African male. I'd smash every women's swimming record. It would be amazing. And who cares? Because my parents can't complain. They raise hell at a school board meeting. The FBI arrests them. Then it's party at the Waters household that weekend. They're already doing this in the criminal justice system today. You look at these Antifa people, they're all getting their charges dropped. BLM's getting charges dropped. You're a illegal alien, you commit a crime in a sanctuary city, they're not going to deport you. This is what this is, though. A lot of these teachers are women, and they are liberal men. And they don't like to administer discipline because it makes them feel bad. And they don't want to feel bad. And so they avoid discipline because they don't want to confront the feelings of implementing discipline. So they just avoid discipline. And notice it's all about how they feel. It's not about what's good for the kids, just about making them feel better.
I would say, yeah, you have to. I don't know about what he just said about the women and I don't know. But I will say this. As an educator or as a person in a school or just in life, you have to put yourself aside when you're doing something for other people. You're supposed to try to help them. Period. This is why when I make these videos, I could say something that, would bash one side or bash another side, but I don't, because I want to help y'all if I can. Y'all probably know more about this topic than I do. But if I can help y'all look at it from a different perspective, I'm going to try. And the same thing comes into these schools, which is why he's right. A lot of people need to stop looking for themselves like, oh, I don't want to do that. Nah, bro. If them kids is bad, they need to be punished. They need to be punished. If anything, they need to be punished more than they're being punished now. But I'm going to let this video ride out. I'm going to see y'all in the next one. Video's over.